Alright, g'day, welcome to Video Game Numbers. It has been a while since we've gone together and have another recording session.
Has it? We've only uploaded 3 days ago.
But as a group, we haven't gotten together, and we are missing one person today.
Yeah, we don't have Bill.
We don't have Bill. He is holiday. He's in a holiday. Hey Bill, if you're watching this,
Shoot us a like from Korea or wherever the fuck you are.
click like, subscribe, comment.
Share
But
it
yeah.
with your Korean friends.
Yes. Well, today's episode is going to be a long one. It's going to be a good one. We are talking about the Eastern playoff matchups. Mm-hmm. Obviously, the play-in's going to start soon. But
Tomorrow, actually.
yes,
Yep.
tomorrow. But for this episode, we're going to be talking about the Philadelphia 76ers against the Brooklyn Nets and the Cleveland Cavaliers against the New York Knicks.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
So,
One of them is a good matchup.
Yes. Well, let's start with the top seed first. Let's go with the 76ers against the Brooklyn Nets.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts about this matchup?
Who wants to go first? Do you want to go first?
I mean, yeah, I can go first. Like, are we doing predictions? Are we giving our predictions off?
Let's do predictions first, and then
Okay.
we'll go into it a bit more detail.
Alright. I reckon Philly in 5.
Yeah,
like
I
Nets
Philly in 5?
will be able to squeeze one game, I'm sure,
I agree.
in this
Philly in
series.
Phil in 4, man.
You're going for the sweep.
I'm
Okay.
going for the sweep.
Get the brooms out.
Get the brooms out.
The only reason why I'll give them one is like I just don't know about playoff Philly because this is the first round matchup.
That's the first round.
They don't get the same calls that they do in the regular season. In most cases,
Yeah.
and that's the only difference between them going at like making it further into the conference finals. Let's say.
Yeah. I think that's one thing. I think for me, the Nets are pretty, like, they've got a pretty good lineup, man. Like, they don't have any stars.
Yeah.
But bro, like,
They have role players.
Bridges can, like, pop off for 30 any given game.
Yeah.
Dinwiddie is, like, he can go even crazy. He can drop, like,
Yeah.
40 on any given game.
Yeah.
Like, and I think out of a best of 7 series, like, I'm willing to bet there's going to be a game where, like, Bridges scores, like, 30 plus.
Yeah.
Dinwiddie scores 30 plus.
Yeah.
Maybe Cam Johnson chips in, like, 15 to 20. And, like, the 76ers, they're known for choking in the playoffs, right?
Yep.
Especially James Harden.
Again, but that
Doc
Like,
Rivers.
exactly, Doc Rivers, Tobias Harris, like all these bums.
some
bro.
they just disappear sometimes.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I think, yeah, like, I mean, talent-wise, the Nets don't stack up anywhere near. Like, bro, Claxton is going to get moved around like barbecue chicken, man.
Yeah.
Like, Embiid's like double his weight,
Yeah.
bro. Like, but like,
Yeah.
I think overall, you look at those guys, like, they just have a bunch of like good role players, and like they have guys that can just step up and drop 20, 30 points on any given night.
I guess to piggyback that, I'm going with the statistics here, right? With the numbers.
Numbers guy.
Philly has won all 4 matchups against Nets.
Yeah.
And matchup wise, like you said, barbecue chicken, Embiid. And I mean, defensively, Harden is a liability against Dinwiddie. Height wise, reach, and he doesn't defend.
Just slow.
James. Yeah. But offensively, he's still a juggernaut, in my opinion. And then you have Tobias Harris.
He might fuck around and
And
drop
you have-
15 points, bro.
and then if you look at Tyrese,
7 rebounds.
if you look at Tyrese Maxey, that guy off the bench,
No, he's a starter now.
is he starting
Yeah,
now?
he's a starter now, yeah.
He's a shooting guard, isn't he?
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, and Shake Milton.
Does Shake get many minutes
I
these
think
days?
if Tyrese plays, not
He doesn't
as much.
really
I
get
think he
many
more so
minutes.
sits on the bench if Tyrese plays. Because I think they run a pretty strict 3-guard rotation. It's just
Yeah.
Harden, Maxey, and
Milton.
Milton, exactly.
Yeah.
Milton only really gets playing time when one of those guys is out.
Yeah.
Which is a shame because he's a pretty fucking good
But
player.
think about it, right? Consistency wise, Embiid, Harden, and
I wouldn't
Maxey.
say Harden is a
I mean,
prime
he's-
example of consistency in the playoffs.
He's been playing well, like to close out the season though. Or didn't he have a game where he had like literally 20 assists and like 1 turnover or something? Something
He's had a few of
ridiculous.
those games this
Yeah.
season. Yeah. I think for him, like the key is Harden knowing when to like be that setup guy and like knowing when his teammates, when he can get his teammates going.
Yeah.
But then there's going to be
Or
times
the
where
attacker.
his teammates are struggling, right? Like Tobias Harris can't buy a bucket. Tyrese Maxey can't buy a bucket. You can't rely on those guys like all the time. He's got to know when he has to step the fuck up and like just do like be James Harden, right?
Yeah.
Because like he just hasn't he's a bit passive nowadays.
Yeah, he is.
So-
yeah.
I think this one, I mean, overall, I think it is a bit straightforward. Let's be real. The Nets don't really stack up to the 76ers. Overall, I still do think that they have the firepower to win a game. I mean, you look at their, if you look at the advanced stats, one of their most used lineups right there, they're running a 5-out lineup with a net rating of 13.5 in 55 minutes. Dinwiddie, O'Neal, DFS, Bridges, Cam Johnson.
Yeah.
There's a lot of shooting and defense in that lineup. I don't know how it's going to stack up against Embiid, but
They probably would have to rely on their defense though if they want to at least steal the game from the Sixers.
Yeah, but the issue is, how do you stop Embiid, bro? It's like when
Yeah.
their center position is like the weakest.
Yeah.
Like, who's behind Claxton? It's like
Who is behind
Day'Ron
Claxton?
Sharp, bro.
Yeah.
Who the fuck is that guy? Who the fuck is that?
Yeah.
That Nerlens got off for a 10-day contract,
Yeah.
and then he was gone.
Yeah.
Claxton's gonna get cooked. Man.
Yeah, he's gonna be in foul trouble really
Yeah, he
early,
is,
and
he
then
is.
he's just gonna sit for a big chunk of the game. So
Yeah.
I mean, I think they're good enough to steal one game.
Yeah, I think so.
But a sweep is also very likely as well. Yeah,
100%.
definitely.
Well, if I were to put my money on it,
Which you certainly will.
bet responsibly, guys. It's a sweep for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fair.
They'll put up a good fight. It'll be a close game
yeah,
for one of them, one or two. But first round. I know they're chokers, but it's first round, man. Get it
Yeah.
done. Go
The
home.
disparity in talent is just too much. I mean, they swept the season series 4-0, right?
Yeah.
the only interesting game out of the season series I'll bring up is the third game that they played together, because the first two had either Irving or Durant, so it was pre-trade deadline.
Yeah.
The third game was when both teams had their basically
New
full
look
healthy,
rosters,
full healthy new look rosters. And it was a close game. It was 101-98 Phillies win
In Brooklyn, to be
in
fair.
Brooklyn as well. Yep.
Yep.
So it was a slower paced, more sort of defensive oriented game.
If you look at the box score there, look at Dinwiddie, 2 of 10 from the field.
yeah,
He struggled.
That was a shock.
I think if Dinwiddie and Bridges struggle, that's it. If one of them struggles, that's it. I
Yeah.
don't think they're gonna win. They need
Yeah.
both guys to be switched on.
Yeah, 100%.
So in this game, I mean, Bridges, he was pretty switched on, 23 points, right? I think he's averaging 26, 27 as a Brooklyn net.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
that's actually below his standards, statistically speaking. And
Yeah.
they put up a good fight. You look on the other end, Embiid, he had 37, Harden had 29. Those are both above average games for
Yeah.
them. But then you look on the flip side, Harris, 3 points. Maxey, 12 points.
Yeah, that's
So,
ridiculous. So there's
Yeah.
weird stats either way.
There's only a 1-game sample size.
Yeah, exactly. And you've got Embiid shooting 12 out of 13 free throws, which, he probably would be doing something similar.
Yeah.
Maybe just marginally less because
Yeah.
they're going to, they'll
Let
play
go
with...
some calls.
Yeah,
for
exactly.
sure.
They'll let the game dictate it. But yeah, I mean, other than that,
I reckon.
I'm not really super keen on this matchup.
Yeah. I reckon if Seth Curry and Cam Thomas kind of step up a little bit, they'll have
Yeah.
a
If
shot.
Cam Thomas gets minutes, yeah. I mean,
But would you
But if everyone is
how
healthy though,
possible?
if everyone's healthy,
Alright.
Cam Thomas doesn't really get many
he
minutes.
doesn't, yeah.
Yeah. The only time he popped off in the last game when he had 40 odd points or whatever was because everyone else was sitting out.
Yeah.
They literally had no one
Is
playing.
it the next
Yeah.
one? Yeah, there you go. 46.
Yeah.
46.
I mean,
Jesus.
when you give Patty Mills 35 minutes, something's wrong.
Boomer's
that-
legend.
Yeah,
Patty Mills,
that's
bro.
that's an anomaly.
And he's only scored 12.
Isn't
With
Ben
2 assists.
Simmons out for the rest of the season
Yeah,
as
he
well?
is, yeah. I think
So
it's most likely, but yeah. You
Yeah.
gotta assume yes.
we can assume that he's going to be out for the playoffs. So that's a big chunk of your defense gone.
So
as
we do have healthy teams, and both teams we don't have any injuries.
Besides Simmons?
Besides
yeah.
Simmons,
Besides
no.
Simmons, yeah.
It's like green light.
Pretty much,
Well,
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely a sweep. Done.
That's fair.
Sweep.
I
for
still
me.
got 5. I still think
Yeah.
between, Cam Johnson, Mikal Bridges, Cam Thomas if he gets playing time, and then Dinwiddie, I think there's enough firepower there to snatch one game, especially because we know the 76ers can just crumble it in
Yeah.
time. I think there's enough that one game. If it goes to 2 games, the Sixers fucked up.
He-
So,
he-
as in, if they steal 2 games, the
Yeah.
Sixers fucked
Yeah.
up hard.
But that's when I think in the playoffs, whenever Doc is put under the hot seat, that's
Yeah.
when he crumbles.
He actually does well when he's like playing a bunch
better
of
team.
bums, bro.
Yeah,
You put us
yeah.
three out there. We might put up a good fight against the Nets. Man.
We'll put up a good 30 points total. Total. Yeah. So
Pretty
I
straightforward.
mean, yeah, everyone expects the Sixers to just blow them out of the water,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
it's up to them at the end of the day.
Yeah.
An interesting question though. How much deeper or further do you guys think the Sixers will make in the playoffs? We're talking second round. We're
They're getting
talking
bounced by
conference.
the Celtics in the second round.
Yeah.
Man. Come on, bro.
They have the hardest, I think, draw out of any Eastern Conference team. I think they've got to go through Boston, and then I'm pretty sure the Bucks. If they do make
Yeah,
it
but
through.
then, I mean, they got the Nets in the first round, which is a
Yeah,
easy,
yeah.
like a pretty easy draw. I don't know. I mean, if you look at it this way as well, the Celtics would have a pretty hard draw too. They would have to most likely go through the Heat,
Yep.
which the Celtics
Yeah.
historically have tough games
Yep.
against.
Yeah.
They're going to have to go through the 76ers, which, although we kicked their ass in the playoffs, they're still a good team, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I still somewhat fear them, right, because of Embiid. And then we have to go through the Bucks.
Yeah.
So there's an argument to be made there as well, yeah.
Yeah, I guess.
I think that
Cool
caps it off.
team. Yeah.